Week 7 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I look to pick up this week. The first guy, Tanner Bibee of the Cleveland Guardians. So Bibee so far in his first season in the league, he's gone off to a pretty solid start here for this Guardian team. 22 innings on the year, 1-1 record, 22 strikeouts, a 3.90 ERA, and a 1.36 whip on the season with a quality start. So Bibee, one of the top prospects in this Guardian system, and he's come out now over the last month, and he's pitched pretty decent baseball besides one bad ball game for this Guardian team. And right now he's out there surprisingly still as Bibee in 58% of fantasy leagues. So the last few games here for Bibee: May 2nd at the Yankees, 5 1/3 in that one, no decision, 4 hits, 2 runs, 5 Ks. May 8th versus the Tigers in a plus matchup, it was a bad ball game, 3 2/3 got the loss, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks. And then May 14th versus the Angels, he pitched a gem, but unlucky, no decision, 7 2/3, no decision in that one, 2 hits, a run, 7 Ks, a quality start. So right now Bibee's going out there. He's looked good, like I said, in 3 out of 4 outings for this Guardian team. And it's about all the youngsters over there. Logan Allen, another one, even though he's been struggling the last 2 outings. But right now, Bibee, one of the top pitching prospects in baseball, and he's here to stay right now with this Guardian team. So right now, while he's pitching good and somehow still out there in 58% of fantasy leagues, just after one bad pitch performance, he's a guy to go out there and get, because if he keeps it going, Bibee, he's going to be owned in way too many leagues where owners can't go out there and get him. The next guy's another top pitching prospect, and the Marlins' number 1 prospect, Eury Perez, of obviously the Miami Marlins. So Perez made his debut on May 12th, and in that one, 4 2/3 in that ball game, 7 Ks, no decision, and he finished that one with a 3.86 ERA and a 1.29 whip. So Eury Perez in the minor leagues, he had a high strikeout rate, and he's one of the top pitching prospects in all baseball, and the most upside as well. At only 20 years old is Eury Perez, where he could get strikeouts quickly, he could go deep into ball games. Control definitely could be an issue a little bit, where he's a high walk type of player a little, but he's got electric stuff as Perez. And right now, out of all the prospects up here, pretty much, and a few of them listed on this ad list this week here, he's probably with the most upside is Perez. So right now, May 18th, a good matchup versus one of the worst lineups in the league versus the Washington Nationals. So Perez out there right now only in 40% of fantasy leagues, and if he pitches a gem, which I expect he should, versus the Nationals on May 18th, then he's a player that's not going to be available in many fantasy leagues. So right now, while it's only 40% available, this is the time to go get him. If he spins a gem versus the Nats, he's going to be owned in way too many leagues. And like I said, the upside is limitless for Eury Perez. And he could be a big-time pitcher for fantasy owners and this Marlin team this season. Next pitch is Dane Dunning of the Texas Rangers. So the veteran Dunning started the season in the bullpen, and now Jacob deGrom's been out the last few weeks, and he's going to be out another 3 or 4 weeks with his injury. So on the season for Dunning, 31 1/3, 3-0 record, 19 strikeouts, a great 1.72 ERA, 0.86 whip, and a quality start. So Dunning, he's not going to go deep into ball games, but he's definitely a pitcher that's going out there and he's doing enough, and he's got a great offense backing him up over there with the Texas Rangers. So the last few outings here for Dunning: May 5th at the Angels, 7 innings in that one, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, 3 Ks. And then May 10th at the Mariners, a solid hitting team, 6 innings, got the W in that one, 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 5 Ks, a quality start. So I don't think Dunning's going to keep up these great numbers with an ERA under 2, but he's a solid pitcher in the back end of the rotation for this Texas Ranger team. A guy that could go out there, and he could be obviously a reliever or a starter, but he's filling in great for Jacob deGrom right now. And it's very surprising to me that he's still out there in 73% of fantasy leagues. He's going to give you ERA. He's going to give you wins on most nights if he's going 5 to 6 innings with this great offense backing him over there in Texas. And he's a guy that keeps the ball in the yard. So right now, while Dunning's out there in tons of leagues, like I mentioned, this is the time to get him, because he goes out there and has another great game here versus a tough Atlanta Brave lineup here today. He's going to be a pitcher owned in way more fantasy leagues. So right now, while he's still out there in a lot of leagues, he's one of the top pickups at the pitching position this week. The next guy is Louis Varland of the Minnesota Twins. So a mediocre prospect coming up, but so far Louis Varland, he's been one of the best young pitchers coming up this season. On the season here, 3 innings, 1-0 record, 27 strikeouts, a 4.30 ERA, and a 1.28 whip with 3 quality starts on the season. So Varland's gone out there, and he's pitching good baseball right now for this Twin team. And Tyler Mahle, he's out for the season with Tommy John surgery. So him and Ober, hopefully these two guys stick in this rotation for the Minnesota Twins. They're pitching great baseball, and they're good guys to have on your fantasy roster right now. So the first few games for Varland on the season, he's gone out there, he's given this team innings, and he's got a good ground ball rate as well. And the strikeouts are pretty solid. May 3rd at the White Sox, 4 2/3, no decision. 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks in that one. May 9th versus a good Padre lineup, 6 innings, no decision though. 1 run, 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks, a quality start. And May 14th versus the Cubs, best outing to date to get his win. 6 1/3, got the win for the first win of the season for Varland. 4 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 7 Ks. So right now he's going out there. He's getting the job done for this Minnesota Twin team. Out there still in tons of fantasy leagues at 71%. And he's got to be owned in more leagues. Like I said, he's going deep into games. His strikeouts are up, and he plays on a solid defensive club like the Twins, who are playing good baseball. So right now, Varland won better pitching pickups this week off the wire. The next guy's Bailey Ober, his teammate of the Minnesota Twins. So Bailey Ober so far has gone off to a good start. And this Twin team over the last few seasons, they found some pitching in the system. So on the season here for Ober, 56 innings, 2-3 record, 51 Ks, a 3.21 ERA, 1.05 whip, and 2 quality starts. And over the last month of the season, he's 2-0 in 24 1/3, 22 strikeouts, a 1.85 ERA, 0.90 whip, and 2 quality starts. So this Twin team, a lot of good pitching. Sonny Gray having a good year. Bailey Ober's been solid this season. Louis Varland, who I mentioned as well, will pick up. But the thing with Ober, he's only out there right now 45% of fantasy leagues. So if he goes out there and has another great outing as Ober versus a tough Dodger lineup in tomorrow's ball game, he's going to be a made man, and he's going to be on pretty much almost in every fantasy league. So right now, this is the time to go out there and get him, because if he has a blow-up game versus the Dodgers, then you know he's set, and he's going to stay in this rotation even if Kenta Maeda comes back. Him and Varland. April 29th versus the Royals, 5 2/3. 4 hits, a run, 2 walks, 6 Ks in that one. May 5th at the Guardians, 7 innings, got the win. 3 hits, no runs, a walk, 6 Ks, a quality start. And May 11th versus the Padres, 6 innings, no decision, 6 hits, 3 runs, 6 Ks, a quality start. So he's giving quality starts as Ober, pitching good baseball. And also as well, he's in a pretty easy division, not great hitting teams. Guardians, not much of a hitting team, obviously. Kansas City Royals, one of the worst teams in the league over there. And right now, Bailey Ober's pitching good baseball for this team, and it's showing up for fantasy owners as well. So he's a good ad this week. Next pitch is Michael Wacha of the San Diego Padres. So Michael Wacha, very under-owned this season here in fantasy baseball. After last season, he had a great year. Was Wacha with the Red Sox, 11-2 with a 3.32 ERA. So on the season, 37 1/3, 3-1 record, 30 strikeouts, a 4.82 ERA, 1.34 whip, and 3 quality starts. So right now, Wacha's surprisingly out there in tons of fantasy leagues at 82%, which is a high number in my opinion here for Michael Wacha. He's going out there, he's giving innings. I know he's not the Wacha of the St. Louis Cardinal days, but he's still a pitcher that's going to go out there and give quality starts to fantasy owners. And he has a good offense backing him, even though this weekend they didn't show up versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. April 26th at the Cubs, 5 innings in that one, 4 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 5 Ks, no decision. May 2nd versus the Reds, 6 innings, no decision again, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a quality start. And May 9th at the Twins, 6 innings, got the win, 3 hits, a run, 3 walks, 4 Ks, a quality start. So Wacha, he had one horrible game that obviously inflated that ERA to a 4.82. But right now, the last 3 outings, he's been solid. And here today, he's got a great matchup versus one of the worst hitting teams in the league in Kansas City. And the Padres are back home. And right now, if you need a quality innings and a guy's going to be solid with a good offense behind him, Michael Wacha is a good pickup this week. Next guy's J.P. France of the Houston Astros. So J.P. France, he's been a surprise so far for this Astro team after losing Luis Garcia for the season to Tommy John and Jose Urquidy out for a while as well with his injury. So on the season for France, small sample size, 11 2/3, 1-0 record, 8 Ks, 0.77 ERA, 0.69 whip, and a quality start. So France, he's not a strikeout pitcher. He pitches to contact, but a lot of ground balls. And he's on a national team that is one of the best hitting teams, even though so far this season it's been a slow start for them. But so far, France has gone out there and he's looked real good for fantasy owners. And right now out there in 64% of fantasy leagues. So the first 2 outings of the year for France, May 6th at the Mariners. 5 innings in that one, no runs, 3 hits, a walk, 5 Ks, no decision. And May 12th at the White Sox, 6 2/3 got the win. 3 hits, a run, a walk, 3 Ks. So France, first 2 outings has looked good. I know the league hasn't really seen much tape on him, and things could be different. His next outing, though, is a decent one at home for the Astros versus the Chicago Cubs that have had some struggles over the last couple weeks here scoring the baseball. So right now, France on a good team. He's going to get the run support more nights than not. And he's just pitching good, and it's a different type of pitcher than the hard thrower is France, a guy that keeps the ball on the ground and in the ballpark, and that definitely could work for fantasy owners, especially in points leagues. So France is a solid pickup this week. The next pitcher, Kyle Freeland of the Colorado Rockies. Another under-owned pitcher is Freeland, who's having a very solid season, even though I know he pitches at Coors Field and the ball flies over there. And this Rocky team, not really that good of a team this season. But Freeland to only be owned in 34% of fantasy leagues and out there in 66% of leagues is pretty surprising to me. On the season, 51 1/3, 4-4 record on the year, 38 strikeouts, a 3.27 ERA, and a 1.14 whip with 6 quality starts on the season. So Freeland right now, he's up there in quality starts on the season amongst the league leaders in fantasy baseball. And over the last 2 weeks, he's been lights out. 18 innings, 2-1 record, 17 strikeouts, 1.20 ERA, and a 0.98 whip with 2 quality starts in the time. So Freeland's gone out there versus some pretty good offenses as well, and he's mowed them down for the most part, is Kyle Freeland. So I know he's on a bad Rocky team. Hard to find good and consistent solid pitching in fantasy baseball. So Freeland the last few games, May 3rd versus the Brewers, 5 innings, got the win, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 Ks in that one. May 8th at the Pirates, 7 innings, tough luck loser, 7 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, quality start. And May 14th versus Philly, 6 innings, got the win, no runs, 4 hits, a walk, 8 Ks, a quality start. So right now, Freeland, one of the better pitchers and quality start pitchers in fantasy baseball. And it's just surprising to me. Like I said, I know Colorado isn't a good team this season, but right now to be out there in 66% of leagues, it's a slam dunk if you could get him on your roster. Right now, next pitcher is Brandon Pfaadt of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So one of their top pitching prospects is Pfaadt. Got off to a slow start the first 2 outings, but in yesterday's ball game, pitched a good one versus the San Francisco Giants. Even though we know the Giants' offense isn't good on the season, 14 2/3, 0-1 record, 11 strikeouts. Still that ERA ballooned up from 2 bad outings from Pfaadt, but he's still a prospect with major upside and a guy who might have had first few game jitters, but 3 starts under his belt. The first 2, he got bombed in those ball games. Start he went out there, wasn't an amazing start, but it was a good one to see with 5 innings in that one, a hit, a run, 3 walks, 5 Ks. But the first 2 outings, May 3rd at Texas, 4 2/3 in that one, 9 hits, 7 runs, a walk, 3 Ks. And then May 9th versus Miami, 5 innings, got the loss, 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Last outing versus the Giants, 5 innings, no decision, 1 hit, 1 run, 3 walks, 5 Ks. So the problem with Pfaadt, walks a little bit. He's a young pitcher trying to blow away batters at times. But if he could just go out there and pitch and use the secondary stuff a little bit more, he definitely can help fantasy owners. And right now, he's going to stay within this rotation for now, with Zach Davies still on rehab assignment. And let's be honest, this Diamondback team probably isn't going to go anywhere this season. So they should see what Pfaadt has in an extended look. So right now available in 82% of fantasy leagues. And the final pitcher I look to get off the wire this week's Brayan Bello with the Boston Red Sox. Bello, a former top prospect in this Red Sox system. And so far, those numbers haven't been great, but the last 2 outings, he's gone out there and been decent. On the year, 23 1/3, 2-1 record, 24 strikeouts, a 5.01 ERA, 1.59 whip, and a quality start on the season. So right now, available in 91% of fantasy leagues here is Bello. And he's a pitcher. I'm not saying he's going out there and lighting it up, but the last few outings, he's been decent, especially in points leagues. April 29th versus the Guardians. 5 innings in that one. No decision. 5 hits, a run, 2 walks, 6 Ks. May 4th versus the Jays. 5 innings, got the win. 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 5 Ks. And May 10th, a great Brave lineup. 6 innings, got the win in that one. 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 5 Ks. A quality starts. Abello's starting to turn the corner. After the first 2 starts of the season, we didn't see much out of him. But right now, he's going out there. He's pitching good. And his next outing's May 17th versus the Mariners. So like I said, 91% of fantasy leagues, Bello is out there. And he helped fantasy owners in a big way, especially with the upside. And like I said, he's a former top prospect for a reason in the Red Sox system. So that's a few pitchers I look to add this week here off the wire in week 7 of the fantasy baseball season.